Okay, this week is about chapter 3. Chapter 3 is all about translation, and it is a 1-week chapter. Pretty much your job is to make sure you learn these words so you can actually learn to translate them, and that's it. This is probably this is definitely the easiest test you're going to take. The hard part is, are you going to actually put the time in to make sure you learn this stuff? So you don't need to write these down because we're still going to work through the worksheet together, but the keywords for addition: sum plus more than, which has an asterisk by it for a reason, which we'll talk about. Subtraction is difference minus less than, which again is similar to more than. Multiplication, which is product times each, per, every. Of is in there, but for the most part, each, per, and every. Of is usually done whenever we're talking about fractions, which again, if we see that, we'll talk about it. And then division is quotient and divided by. So on your worksheet, which again, this isn't even a long worksheet, most of it's going to be a matter of whether or not you go to Math, Excel, and practice. Keywords for addition: sum, plus, and more than. So with those words, again, addition is your plus sign. Sum plus more than, you need to make sure you learn those things. What's special about more than is the fact that the order switches. So we'll see that in a second. But again, what happens with more than is that it should cause you to switch whatever's in front to whatever's in the back, because what we've learned so far, what we have learned throughout the year, is that whenever this stuff is done, you're supposed to actually work in terms of whatever's first stays first, whatever second stays second, and that's it. Keywords for subtraction are difference, minus, and less than. Again, what's special about less than? Similar to more than, the order switches, and that's it. So again, less than, more than, switch the order. Everything else, for the most part, except for multiplication, which we'll talk about, the order stays the same no matter what. So one of the things that people tend to do wrong is they don't pay attention to the order of the words, and they miss the problem, which causes all the issues. Keywords for multiplication is product times each, per, every, and of. So again, product times each, per, every, and of. The order of multiplication is always number first. It doesn't matter. And then don't forget there is no symbol. So again, number first in multiplication, no symbol. You just pretty much push the number and the variable together, and that's it. Keywords for division: that's quotient and divided by. All right, and how is division written? Well, division is written as a fraction. First number goes on top, second part goes on the bottom. So whatever's first goes on top, whatever's second goes on bottom. And that again should make sense. As much as people have been missing it, they're missing it because they don't care, not because they're not thinking. When you make a list of things to do, whatever is, if it was car, house, and boat, you would not read it boat, house, car. You would read it car, house, boat. In other words, we always read top to bottom. So whatever's first is typically on top. Whatever's next is usually below that, and whatever's after that is usually below that. So that's a natural thing. So if I have x and 7 to go into a fraction, x is first, therefore x should go first, 7 should go on the bottom. If I had 5 and z to go into a fraction, 5 is first, z is second, it should go on the bottom. All that stuff should be understood, but again, it just takes a matter of you taking it seriously. But let's look at this stuff here and see what we got. First thing you want to do is make sure you understand what the symbol is, which is minus. Minus is a subtraction. And then all you have to do, which again is what nobody has done who's taking this stuff here, what most people haven't done who's taking this stuff here, is that is first, put it here. This is second, put it here. That's all. That's it. This is the easiest test you can take. You just have to do your job. Sum, you have to study and make sure you remember that sum means addition. Notice it says x is first, 7 is second. There you go. Divided by means division, but it's a fraction, which means since m is first, it goes on top. Since 4 is second, it goes on the bottom. I'm not going to go through a lot of stuff because this is honestly, after solving, this is the easiest test you're going to take. And again, the only reason why people don't pass is because they just don't care. Quotient is another division, so that's written like a fraction. The first thing we're going to write, as you see, is 6. The second thing we're going to write is j. That's all. Don't use a division symbol. If you put 6 divided by j, we mark it wrong. If you put j on top, y, it's second, it goes on the bottom. Times means multiply, and as we said with multiply, the number goes first with no symbol. So all you have to do is put 9 first, n second. That's it. No symbol. If you put 9 times n, that's wrong. If you put 9 dot n, that's wrong. If you put 9 parentheses n, that's wrong. All you have to do is pay attention to the directions we've been telling you. Everything else will fall into place. Product means times. Again, you got to study that. P and 11. So 11p, because remember, number goes first. Variable goes second. No symbol. Each is different because whenever you see each or per, you've got to make sure first off that you know it's going to be number than variable, and the only number here is 7. So we just got to figure out what the variable is. And the way you figure out the variable for each and per is saying each what, and of course it would be each room, so it'll be R, not P. It's not 7 people, it's each room. 7 people per room. So 1 room is 7 people. 2 rooms should be 14 because 7 times 2 is 14. P is not going to be your variable. It's each room. So just remember that. Again, this is stuff you got to do. Difference means subtract. So I can write the symbol. 2 is first. U is second. That's all. Take your time and you will get it right. Here is one of those star ones. More than, which means switch the sign. So more than is plus. But instead of 5 going first, we're going to put it here. Instead of t going second, we're going to put it here. That's the only thing you got to know about more than. Switch the order. Difference, which again means subtract. 10 is first. A is second. There's no algebra. There's really no thinking outside of just memorizing what you have. 3/4 of a number g. This is multiplication. If you remember that first list that I gave you. It says in multiplication is product times each per every of. Of is easy. Again, all you got to do is make sure you can write the number, which is 3/4, and then put the g right beside it. And that's all. That's 3/4 times g. Of means times. That's it. Sum is plus. 8 is first. P is second. That's all. It is very frustrating to see how many people miss these questions and miss almost all of them just because they don't do the work to make sure they know what's going on. This is all basic things. No insult. My wife teaches 5th grade. They did this stuff last quarter, and theirs were actually more difficult. Less than means subtract. Not only that, less than's that funny one where the order switches. So that means that 4 goes back here, y goes here. That looks crazy. So I'm going to make sure my 4 has a point and make sure my y is curved. But that's it. Minus, subtract, no order switch. So h is first, 3 is second. The only order switch is more than, less than. Everything else, whatever's first goes first, whatever's second goes second. Divided by as a fraction, 4 is first, goes on the top. T is second, goes on the bottom. That's it. Plus, n is first, 5 is second. I don't know how to teach this to you outside of just showing it to you because there's really nothing else I can do. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to make it. Per means multiply. We know it's going to be 9 something. If you want to know what that is, it's not 9 cats, it's per day. Per day means D goes there. And then quotient means divide. R is first, 7 is second. If you put in the necessary work, you'll get through this thing no issue. Hopefully you've done enough work to get through the solving and the other things, but like I said, it's time to pick it up. You're getting now to the last 3 weeks of us doing this stuff, so make sure you make the most of it. Outside of that, I'll talk to you later. Good luck.